Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Black Clover Episode 4. And honestly, this is really one of those episodes where even though the pacing was slow, you really kind of have to look past the slow pacing and really look at what was really good about this episode. Because honestly, there was a lot of little hidden gems in this episode that I really liked, and we got some major character introductions in this. The main which being of the of basically all the basically being all the captains of the night squads, which all those designs of the characters looked freaking amazing. Because to be honest with you, right off the bat, like as bad as the pacing was in this episode, it was still leagues better than last week's. Because like the last week's episode didn't even set much of a precedent for exactly how much better the episodes could have gotten. Like last week, nothing even happened. So in that sense, it's like basically the last week's episode it didn't really do, because the last week's episode was basically such a fucking was of course already such a slugfest. This one was, even though the pacing was still slow in this one, it was still leagues better than what happened in this episode. And one thing I do like is how it was building up how much of a piece of shit that Seek guy was, only for him to get his ass handed to him by Asta in the end of the episode. Like that was one thing I think I do have to praise the episode for, is that it was building up how much of a piece of shit this whole guy Seek was. Like he put on the whole friendly act, but we all know he was a piece of shit. So I like how it was building up Seek, building up how much of a piece of crap Seek was, only to get his ass handed to him by Asta by the end of the episode. So yeah, it was good in that sense. And like I said, we definitely got a lot of important character introductions. The main which being of all the Magic Knight squad captains, who is the Silver Eagles, whose captain is Nozel. The Crimson Lion Knights, whose Lion Knights, whose name I know I'm gonna fuck up if I try and pronounce it, but Golian or something. The Black Bulls Yami, who, by the way, like just the way that dude was built, like just him in general as a character, just already has me saying yo. The Green Praying Mantises, whose captain is Jack the Ripper, and when I saw that guy's name, I was like, Jack the Ripper. So is it safe to assume the serial killer ended up getting his name from this guy? And like, yeah, Jack the Ripper, really? Like, whoa. And the Blue Rose Knights, whose captain is Zaylee. The Purple Orcas, whose captain reminds me so much of Mayuri, with even so much of Mayuri if he didn't have any makeup on. The Coral Peacocks, the Aqua Deer, the Golden Lion, and the Golden Lion the Golden Lion guys are the ones that really got me hyped, because we learned that the captain it was William Vengeance. Apparently, William Vengeance, the captain William Vengeance. Apparently, he's the closest in power right now to becoming the Wizard King. So, if that's the case, then this guy's got to be a big fucking deal. Because if that guy is the closest to becoming a Wizard King, then you really gotta imagine exactly how much power the guy's had, and that also sets precedent for exactly how much power and influence one actually has to have in order to be the Wizard King. Like if this guy is already kind of on that level of being recommended to be the next Wizard King, then yeah, Asta, you've definitely got a lot of competition. And Asta, it's not just you've got a lot of other competition towards becoming the next Wizard King. So yeah, good luck with that, bro. And basically the rest of this episode was just basically focusing on the whole. Like I said, it was focusing on the trials and tests towards becoming a magic knight and being accepted into one of these into one of those into one of these many I guess of the Magic Knight squads, and one of these Magic Knight squads pretty much. and at the end of this, Yami, Yami, don't think I didn't see that look, bro. I definitely see you looking at Asta. Like, I think Yami's definitely going to be the one to probably accept. Like, obviously, I think how it's probably going to work out. It's probably a little obvious to the setup, of course, but I get the feeling how it's going to work out is everyone's is gonna turn Asta down except for Yami. Like, then again, when we got introduced to the Black Bulls in this chapter, in this episode, sorry, it did already seem like the Black Bulls were already kind of Asta's, were kind of like, would be Asta's cup of tea, because all of them seem to have a pretty, all the Black Bulls seem to be pretty wild in general. So yeah, Asta, I think you might want to look at the Black Bulls for you, dude. But yeah, and but like I said, it was the majority of this episode was focused on the on the test itself, and like the first test was of course a broom flying test, and I was like, yep, Asta's already fucked. Guy can't even get 2 inches off the ground with a broom. Well, of course, Yuno was there being a badass, standing on his broom while floating through the air, and the one thing I am glad, like as far as what happened near I guess the whole end of this episode, is that I'm glad they didn't focus. I'm glad they kind of only focused the rest of the exams on the brief montage. Like, I'm glad they only took. I guess you could argue it is a little bit of a slugfest to focus a good chunk of the episode on that flying test. But I think considering that they only did a brief montage for the rest, it was acceptable, I guess. And other than that, we get introduced to a girl who's the sister of the captain of the Silver Eagles, who is Nozel. And what's interesting about the interaction between the girl and her brother Nozel is we get a further glimpse of how much of a disconnect the royalty of this world has with the rest of society, because even those of their own blood aren't free from like discrimination and even ridicule. Like with him, like with the way Nozel was basically talking to his own sister in this episode, he was just outright saying her existence is unnecessary. And like, dude, that is cold. That is your own flesh and blood, your own sister, for God's sakes, and you're saying that she's completely worthless? Are you kidding me? Like, like I get the feeling what's probably gonna happen with her is she's probably gonna end up doing her. She's really gonna end up going against her brother, participating in the exams, and I bet she's also gonna considering the way she probably feels about her brother, she's probably gonna take the exams and join the Black Bulls, if only to spite her brother, probably, because you can definitely see that there is some discontent between her and her brother there, and I think she's just gonna do all that. I think she's gonna take part in the exam and join probably the Black Bulls or some other, some other, or one of the other, or one of the non royalty type night squads, just to kind of spite her brother. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she does that. Now, one thing I did notice in this episode is the voice for Asta. And the voice actor is the voice actor for Asta, and as we've known from the very first episode, the voice actor has kind of gone a little too high-pitched with it. But as the episodes have kind of progressed, I have noticed that the voice actor is kind of slowly but surely is kind of toning it down a bit, and it was definitely noticeable in this episode. Like, Asta was still kind of yelling his butt off, but it wasn't as ear grating, I guess you could say, or ear raping as a commenter said on the video of it I watched. But yeah, it wasn't as ear grating as before. So it is good to know that he's at least grasping onto the fact that it isn't going to be like that. He's finally getting a grasp on what kind of tone he needs to do for Asta. So, and it's good in that sense. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of an signing off.